Hi there, my name is Sarah Davidson, and I will be presenting your monthly therapy moment from Solid Foundations Therapy. So life is full of challenges. This is something that we know. These challenges can oftentimes elicit some extreme or unbalanced thoughts. When we lean into the unbalanced thoughts, this can show up in our behaviors and our choices. What I mean by that is unbalanced thoughts can lead to sometimes problematic decision making that can oftentimes feel inauthentic to ourselves. So, to help kind of challenge this pattern, I want to introduce a concept called the wise mind. So, to help understand this a little bit more, the wise mind is a balanced state of thinking that brings together both thought and reason. When we bring in thought and reason, we are more likely to engage in effective decision making that, again, feels authentic to ourselves and tends to help solve problems. So for the visual kind of learners out there, if you want to kind of imagine this in your mind, again, it's something you can look up as well. But if we're picturing like a Venn diagram, on one side we have the reasonable mind, which focuses on logic and facts first. The other side is the emotional mind that very much focuses on emotions first. And then in the middle, that like overlap in a Venn diagram, that would be the wise mind. So that's kind of where we want to live. That brings in both the emotions and the reason. So an example to kind of help understand this and maybe even put it into practice. If you think about maybe any experiences you've had at work, maybe you had a review that didn't go as well as you thought it would, or a tough conversation with your boss, or just a difficult moment at work. If we lean into our emotional mind completely, that could kind of look like some impulsive behaviors. So if I'm very emotional, I may be feeling frustrated or confused or angry based off of whatever happened at work. Let's just go with the poor review thing. That thought process, if I lean into just the emotions, could look like I'm no good at this job, I'm done with this, I don't want to ever have a poor review again, I'm feeling impulsive, I think I'm done. I could quit today, I could quit tomorrow. So that's very impulsive. The reasonable mind is going to look at the logic there. So the logic may say, you can't quit your job, you have to pay your bills. If you quit your job today, who knows when you would get another job, who knows what that job hunt would look like. And I have to pay ComEd tomorrow, so we got to make this work. So that's more of the reasonable mind. Both of those thought processes are helpful, but when we lean into one and don't acknowledge the other, that's when we kind of come up with those decisions that feel inauthentic and don't feel very effective. So we want to lean into the wise mind. We want to bring in both sides of our minds, both the reasonable and the emotional. So a more balanced perspective could look like, yes, I'm very emotional right now. That was a bad review. It didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, but maybe that was a one-off. I've had good reviews in the past. That doesn't mean that I won't have a good review again. Maybe I can work on X, Y, and Z, and things will go better next time. That's a very wise mind, bringing in both pieces kind of perspective. It could also look like, I am having an emotional time. I had a poor review, and maybe I've been feeling this way for a while. Maybe I've had a lot of emotionally really heavy days that signal to me maybe this isn't the right place for me, or this isn't the right job or career path or whatever for me. But bringing in that reasonable side could look like, okay, let's maybe start looking around. Let's start job hunting. Let's see what else is out there. But it's not going to be as impulsive as if we just leaned into the emotional mind. Or if we just leaned into the reasonable mind, we may be saying, you know what, we're not happy here, but we have to pay our bills. And then you end up stuck at a job that maybe isn't for you or doesn't feel rewarding or fulfilling. So those are just kind of a couple examples of how we can bring in that wise mind that brings in the balance to help us make decisions that we feel good about. If you like this tip and you're interested in more tips, either as an individual or as a couple, please feel free to reach out to Solid Foundations Therapy. Thanks.